Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of NASCAR Thunder 2004 on the channel. It is the Brickyard 400 here for you guys today, and it could be one of the... stumbling over my words again. If I could restart it, I would. That is the unfortunate side of doing a live stream. Alright, let me repeat what I was going to say there. Brickyard 400, another crown jewel event here on the NASCAR Thunder 2004 season. This race, as far as the channel goes, might go down in history today. Why? It's because it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We've got the Got Milk car. You know, obviously with the Indy 500, there's this milk tradition for the winner of the Indy 500. You guys kind of know, the story, whether it's drinking the milk or, just pouring the milk. Whatever it end up, wherever the milk goes at the end of the race is where it goes. But we know it's in the winner's circle. If we find ourselves in victory lane today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I have a little bit of milk in this. Well, not a little bit. There's a lot of milk in here. And this is what I'm going to do for views. If this is the content you guys want, all joking aside though, this is a one-time only thing. We might do an annual tradition of doing the Brickyard 400 with these older game playthroughs, and if we find ourselves in victory lane, we've got the milk here to help celebrate and quench our thirst at the end of the day. But we're going to get all of that off to the side. For those of you that are probably going to miss the start of the stream, 6 of you guys are just now tuning in. I'm sure we'll see more throughout the course of the race. I will update you guys on when that will be happening. Again, it'll be happening immediately after the race. If we win, we have to find ourselves in victory lane. I want to start a new, tradition on the channel, so why not here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll take you through today's starting lineup and key points of emphasis coming into today's race for the Brickyard 400. This is race 21 of 36 on the NASCAR Thunder 04 schedule, so only 15 races to go after today, and we'll see how tight things will be in the point standings when we conclude everything at the end of the night.
Welcome to MRN's live coverage from the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway for today's Brickyard 400. You can just feel the excitement all around for this race.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway, what a deep history this place has. I still get chills walking into this place. Speaking of history, there'll be a lot of drivers fighting to get into victory lane for a chance to kiss the bricks after this one is all over today.
Jerry Labonte has really shown some muscle in his qualifying this year.
Yeah, that team has made great strides in improving their qualifying setups, and it shows with all the top 10 starts they've made.
David Green seems to always have to start toward the back at these speedway tracks.
Man, that's true. Maybe he likes having to pass all those cars on race day. I know I would prefer to start towards the front, and I'm sure he would too. But hey, he'll get there with some patience.
Only 11 years into the new tradition at this time in the year 2003, and that is running stock cars on the oval at Indianapolis. We'll take you through today's starting lineup, and on the front row, we've got Mark Martin on the pole. Tony Stewart, Indiana native, starts outside pole in second. Points leader Dale Jr. will be starting inside row 2 and third, with Bobby Labonte outside of him. Ryan Newman got his first win of the season yesterday at Pocono. He'll start inside row 3 with Terry Labonte, who won the first Pocono race, outside of him. In row number 4, it'll be Dale Jarrett and Jimmy Johnson. Johnson, a one-time winner on the season. And for Dale Jarrett, still looking for his first. Jeff Gordon and Matt Kenseth will round out the top 10 between the two of them. 3 wins combined on the season. Gordon with 1, Kenseth with 2. At row number 6, it'll be Bill Elliott and Robbie Gordon. Robbie Gordon, of course, an open wheel, I wouldn't say star necessarily, but an open wheel racer before coming to NASCAR. You know he wants to win here at Indianapolis. Elliott Sadler and Johnny Benson in row 7. In row number 8, it'll be Rusty Wallace and Kurt Busch. Row number 9, Ricky Craven and Jeff Burton. Ricky Craven won one of the Crown Jewel events earlier this year in the Daytona 500 that started the year. Ethan, Frankie Smith, welcome to the stream, by the way. Jeremy Mayfield, Kevin Harvick will be in row number 10. Harvick is a 3-time winner of the Brickyard 400. Michael Waltrip, Hermes, well, I should say 3-time winner of the Brickyard 400 as of now. Michael Waltrip and Hermes Sadler will be in row 11. Joe Nemechek, Jerry Nadeau in row number 12. Joseph Ben, welcome to the stream.
Row 13 finds the Pennzoil Chevrolet and the Sterling Marlin Dodge.
Jeff Green, Sterling Marlin back in row 13. And row 14, Christian Bittipaldi and Mike Skinner.
And the Kodak Max Film Pontiac. In row 15 are
Ward Burton and Ken Schrader will be in row 15.
Starting the race,
Jack Sprague, Ricky Rudd back in row 16. Rudd's been having some good runs as of late. Back-to-back top 5s coming into today's race. In row 17, it'll be Kenny Wallace and Casey Mears. That last name Mears, very familiar with this famed racetrack.
Starting in row 18 will be
Greg Biffle and Chase Montgomery will be in row number 18.
In row 19,
Kyle Petty, Brett Bodine will be in row 19.
and the Hooters Ford.
In row 20, it'll be Steve Park and Jamie McMurray.
Chevrolet and the Haviland Dodge.
Park at the back of the field for the start of the race for the third consecutive race. He's qualified outside the top 30. David Green, Kevin LePage back in row 42, and Ashton Lewis qualified last. For today's race, he will be the 43rd place driver at the starting grid. Here we go. 8 people watching now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Again, for those of you that might have missed the intro, I kind of stuttered a little bit. I'll be more, clearer this time around. We've got milk in here. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I know it's not the Indy 500, it's the Brickyard 400, but we've got the Got Milk car. We've got milk here. There will be a milk bath if I find myself in victory lane today. We're doing it for the views. We're doing it for the content. Green flag is about to wave 400 miles, 160 laps at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we are underway as Mark Martin leads the field to the green. Dale Jarrett got a pretty good start. Terry Labonte trying to get to the inside. A little crossover on Dale Jarrett as they get up to speed now into turn 2. Good job by Terry Labonte quickly getting to the inside of the racetrack. It's been 7 races since Labonte has found himself in victory lane as well, so looking to end that winless streak. Yeah, Brickyard 400 is still going to be happening. It'll just be on the road course layout. It's still got the title name as the Brickyard 400 too. Mark Martin leads the field into turn number 4. Dale Jr. all over his back bumper. Jr. comes in with just a 7-point lead over Jeff Gordon, who was a 5-time winner of the Brickyard 400. At least by the end of his career, up to this point in time, he wasn't a 5-time winner. Gordon to the inside of Dale Jarrett for position. Ryan Newman almost got underneath of Dale Jr. Right now, Newman and Stewart, 2 Indiana natives, side by side for third. I believe Newman just finally cleared him off the exit of turn 2. Bobby Labonte trying to block his brother Terry again, this time down the back straightaway. Oh, Labonte gets loose into turn 3. 3 wide underneath them now. Hang on to it. Contact with Dale Jarrett. Cannot go 3 wide at Indy. And it definitely didn't work there in the short shoot of turns 3 and 4. Gordon escaped to the inside. Contact, though, between Dale Jarrett and Terry Labonte. That's a tough break. I do agree, though. I feel like they should have kept the oval layout. I was actually pulling for both. I was hoping for like an Indy doubleheader kind of, and run a road course race on Saturday and run the Brickyard 400 on the Sunday, if that was logistically possible. Oh, contact! Rusty Wallace just slid into Jimmy Johnson now into turn 4. We stay green again. Bonnie trying to break the draft to the inside down the front stretch. Keep the car clean. I'll try. Bonnie coming off a 4th place finish yesterday at Pocono. Had a good run. Had a fast car. Led 38 laps. He had a faster car than what he had when he won Pocono the first time around, but the track position just definitely killed him. He just didn't have the right strategy for that long 167 lap green flag run to the finish. And he couldn't hold the track position. He had taken the lead over times throughout the course of that run, but he just couldn't hold it through the pit stops, and his pit crew ultimately probably costed him a good chance to win. Them having 2 mistakes on pit road, combining for a total of about 5.5 to 6 seconds, and he lost by 5 seconds at the end of the day in that 4th position. So you never know. No mistakes on pit road. Labonte could have went to victory lane, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. He's back today, looking for a chance to win on another 2.5-mile flatter track. This one very different from Pocono, but similar as far as the long straightaways. And knowing he had a fast car yesterday, he should have a fast car today. He was fastest in first practice. Didn't run in happy hour at all and qualified 6th, so he's got a fast race car. But he's going to have to fight for track position today as well. Matt Kenseth trying to make a pass for 8th place right now. Labonte kind of pulls him a little bit, though, down the front stretch. Kenseth trying to stay in the draft just a little bit. It's going to help so much down the longer straightaways. Not so much in the short shoot, but at least in between turns 2 and 3 and turns 1 and 4, or 4 and 1, rather. Kurt Busch, Rusty Wallace kind of jam-packed right behind Kenseth as well. It's just a single-file line. Bonnie was keeping up with the leaders, so he's probably running pretty even lap times with them. The problem is he lost a lot of ground after the contact with Jarrett. Just bobbled a little bit into turn 3. Both him and Gordon went for the same spot at the same time, and unfortunately, Labonte got the worst end of it. Again, Jarrett had a little contact as well. At least it wasn't hard contact both with the wall and with Dale Jarrett and Terry Labonte. Car turned abruptly into turn 1. The reason why I changed the camera positioning as well is just in case I do win this race today. I don't want to move the camera at the end before we have our celebratory milk bath if we do go to victory lane, because I don't want any cords or wires getting wet. Wow, Labonte got really tight in turn 4. Here comes Kenseth. Big run to the inside. Wow, Labonte squeezed him though, and Kenseth had to get out of the gas. Kurt Busch to the outside of Kenseth for position now. And into turn 1, Kurt Busch still trying to hold the outside. Oh, he almost got the wall. That was close. It's so hard just to run side by side, let alone, that's why the 3 wide did not work a couple laps into the start of the race. Yeah, we'll have to see what the car does on the long run as well. There's a good chance we'll probably tighten it up just a hair. Probably half around a wedge, and that'd be about it. But if it gets tighter and tighter over the course of the run, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I might drop the air pressure a little bit. But But I don't think I'll make the wedge adjustment. Only 10 laps into the race. I'm saying, yeah, run a Indy doubleheader with the road course on Saturday and then the oval on Sunday. Because I'd prefer the oval. Most fans probably wouldn't agree, but you could just see how special this race is, even for the drivers. I mean, how ecstatic Harvick was to win it the last 2 years. How disappointed Hamlin was when he didn't win. Obviously, yeah, you want to win a race in that kind of a freak accident while leading, you know, blowing a tire in turn one with just 6 laps to go. Obviously, he was going to be upset, but let alone it was Indianapolis. He had never won there before. That really ate at him. Drivers want to win. Teams want to win at this racetrack so bad, and that's why I consider it a crown jewel. And being there in 2018, yeah, there might not have been hundreds of thousands of people there like there would have been 10 years, 15 years prior. That shouldn't matter. Now, granted, too, I do have to say there was a decent amount of people there the Sunday, but because it rained and they had to race on a Monday, Monday races usually don't have great attendance unless it's a Daytona 500, but that's for obvious reasons. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. Oh, I keep gotta adjust where I have my laptop. The PS4 steering wheel is in the way, and I can't see the chat that well. I can't move the laptop though because of where I have the camera. The cord won't extend around it, so I might have to use my phone here. So I'm trying to keep up with you guys. I see you guys in the chat. Look at the top 7 right now. Nobody is pulling away. It's almost like they're pack racing up there. And side by side, battling for position at Indy, nonetheless. Little wiggle into turn 1. Actually wasn't that bad for Terry Labonte. There's a really bad crash on the front stretch here in our Season 1 race. I can't remember at the time. I think it was Jeff Gordon who blew an engine. And we were going 3 wide on the front stretch, and there's no apron because it must have just happened when they were on the front stretch because we were probably middle of the pack at the time. And we were 3 wide, so there was nowhere to go. And we were running as Greg Biffle. Biffle's the car on the bottom, trying to get around. I think it was Ward Burton, and we just piled right into Gordon. You couldn't see him because of how shaded the front stretch is here. When you get closer and closer to the start-finish line, see like it is right there at the shade. So you couldn't see Gordon smoking until you got right in front of him. There was nowhere to go. We drilled him, and it just caused a bad crash on the front stretch. We somehow survived it, and we somehow ended up going on to win the race too. I did not think it was going to happen, but it was a pretty good race overall, so we're hoping for much of the same again today as well here at Indy. Top 7 still not separating, and Terry Labonte's actually closing in. I think some of the reason for this is that whoever the race leader is right now, if it's still Mark Martin or not, I'm not sure. But whoever the race leader is holding up at least the first couple cars behind him. And he's not fast enough, but because it's so hard to pass here, especially hard to pass the leader with the clean air, we're going to have to see how this is going to play out. Bonnie trying to get the draft of Dale Jarrett down the back straightaway. Lap 16 here in this one. Going to be anywhere between a 3 to a 4 stop race today. And again, Bonnie trying to draft Dale Jarrett. Jarrett kind of runs a little bit towards the bottom, trying to break a little bit of that draft. Great corner for Terry Labonte getting into turn 1. Massive run by Terry Labonte to the back of Dale Jarrett. Looking to make a pass. On the outside, I don't know if this is going to work. Side by side into turn 3. Labonte tries to hold the outside. He's trying to get a draft off Dale Jr. to kind of help him pass Jarrett down the back straightaway, and it just didn't work. Great job by Labonte to hang on to the car. It was worth a try. As he goes all the way to the inside of the racetrack to try and get around Dale Jarrett now. Jr. pulls down the track. That allows Labonte to get just enough of a draft to stay to the inside of Jarrett, as he'll make the pass in turn 1 for 7th. Contact. Dale Jr., Terry Labonte. Jr. blocking now. Dale Jr.'s never won at Indianapolis. Ever throughout his NASCAR career. Looking to change that today. Labonte trying to make a pass, but Jr. just keeps blocking him all the way down to the inside. Hard into turn 1. Maybe a little too hard for Terry Labonte. Dale Jr. almost got underneath Jeff Gordon. A little wide goes Jr. Little tap from the left rear, and Labonte washes up the track just a little bit in turn 2. And he'll have to just hold on for 7th in front of Dale Jarrett. Yes, Dale Sr. won the second race at Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400. He won in 1995, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Jarrett in the wall off of turn 3. A little aero sensitive, probably behind Labonte's car, I'm sure. Lap 20. I got a sneeze coming on here. Oh, man, I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. That snuck up on me. I felt it come... Well, okay, so here's the scenario. I had to pause it because I was in the center of the corner. The problem is I paused it in the center of the corner, so I don't know what's going to happen here when I unpause it. See if anybody's out of the race while we're at it. Just for the heck of it. I'm really not looking forward to unpausing this. Moment of truth here. Well, all 43 cars are on the lead lap and still in the race. Okay. It definitely shoved up the racetrack. I was, like, just repeatedly on the brakes if you could hear the tap, 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 tap. I didn't want to lock them up. Yeah, sorry that was right into the mic, by the way. I couldn't turn away. I have an earpiece in for a mic, so it wasn't like I could pull it out in time. Wow. Bonnie washes up the track again in turn 3. Jarrett almost got in the wall off turn 3 again. Jarrett, a 2-time winner of the Brickyard 400 back in the 90s. In the 3rd inaugural race here. He actually started the tradition of kissing the bricks after winning at Indianapolis, after getting that win in the 3rd annual Brickyard 400. Bonnie's been right between 6th to 8th place this entire race. Hasn't moved forward or backwards beyond that. Oh, little contact for 2nd place. Bonnie in the draft of Dale Jr. down the front stretch. It's a pretty big run into turn 1. Jr. did not stick the bottom well at all there. And Labonte gets to his inside in the short chute. Now into turn 2. Slides it in there. Deep dive and clears Dale Jr. for the position. Gordon also clears Bobby Labonte meanwhile. And Terry keeps the run after passing Jr. and gets to the inside of his brother Bobby. Now to the inside of Gordon as well. For 4th, locks the brakes up, keeps it off Gordon. And Terry Labonte's up to 4th. He's picked up 3 spots this lap already. Newman washed up just a little bit off of turn 4. Comes a run by Stewart. Stewart maybe going to try to make a move into turn 1 again. And Stewart does get to the inside of Ryan Newman. Is he going to stay there, though? Oh, contact. That actually kind of helped Stewart somehow. I don't know how it did, but it did. It's a massive run. Stewart blocking the inside. Oh, Labonte's in the grass. That could have been really, really bad. Martin has still held on to the lead and has led every lap from the start of the race. He's got to be holding these guys up behind him. I think 2nd through 4th at least are faster than Mark Martin. Outside might not work. Into turn 1. I don't know how Labonte held that line. Can he hold it again in turn 2? Newman right in front of him. Oh, contact with the 12. These guys are going at it for 2nd place. 3 wide down the back. Stewart blocks Newman on the outside. Labonte will take that inside lane. Labonte slides into turn 3 and clears Stewart in the short chute. Now going for the lead on Mark Martin into turn 4. Oh, he got tight. He drove it in too deep. Newman to the inside of Stewart now for 3rd. Stewart to the outside of Labonte for 2nd. Labonte did not get through turn 4 well at all. And Martin, who's led every lap, is still out in front, but there's a new driver in 2nd. Newman still to the inside for 3rd place, trying to get back around Stewart again. Labonte going to try to make this move quick on Mark Martin. Martin looking to throw the block. Labonte just gets underneath him down the back straightaway. And Labonte's going to send it off into turn 3 to try and get around Martin. Oh, he got loose! He washes up the track! Martin's in the wall! Labonte slides right up into Mark Martin. He overdrove the corner. Mentioned he was going to try to drive it in hard, but he drove it way too hard. Pretty heavy contact. And Ryan Newman all of a sudden's got the lead. Labonte just trying to shove Gordon in there, and Labonte gets into the wall. Terry shot Gordon to the inside of Bobby Labonte, and Labonte got pinched. No contact between the 24 and the 18, but Labonte scrapes the wall. Chaos currently ensuing here at Indianapolis. And Stewart is going to try to go for the lead on Ryan Newman. He's all over him. Just tell how important this track position is. Even this early in the race. Haven't even gotten to the first pit stop yet. There's nowhere to go into turn 1. Really got to get to the inside of the car off the exit of the corner to have a good shot to stay alongside him down the back straightaway. And hopefully stay to the inside getting into the next corner. We'll tap there, loosening Stewart up. Labonte tried to make the run. Stewart tried to side draft and crowd Terry Labonte, and Terry got a little loose, had to give up the spot. That pushes a little tight on corner exit. He still holds on to the lead. Another big run by Terry Labonte to the inside of Stewart. He's going to have a lot bigger run into turn 1 this time. Stewart crowds him into turn 1. Labonte gets a little loose. Up the track into Stewart. Oh, Newman bounces off the wall. Newman's in the wall for the lead. He gets loose into turn 2. And Tony Stewart has taken the race lead. Blown engine on the inside of the track. That's Kevin LePage. He's out of the way for now. They battle for the lead again. How did Stewart end up with the lead and all that? I don't know how Newman got in the wall off of turn 1, but he did. Oh, Labonte in the marbles. Barely kept it off the wall. He's driving this thing hard right now to try and get to Stewart. And now Labonte's in the wall off of turn 4. Newman back to second. Terry Labonte back to third, and Stewart has about a 1.5 second lead. This guy's racing like it's the final 20 laps of the race. My goodness. And it's only the first 30. Nobody's had any sort of give in them here today. Only take. These tires get older and older. That's why you're seeing the loss of traction with them still trying to make the same moves they were when they were on fresh tires on the opening lap. Big slide into turn 3. Newman trying to pinch Terry Labonte down into turn 4. He did enough to hold on to the position. Newman almost got in the wall off turn 4 again. And again, Labonte trying to stay in the draft down the front straightaway. Big run into turn 1 to the inside of Newman. Newman gave him enough room that time. He saw Labonte had a huge run, and Newman's in the wall off turn 1 again. He got tight once Labonte pulled up in front of him and took the air off the nose of the number 12 Dodge. Labonte's back to second. He has not led a lap yet today. Ideally, if these guys can make it to lap 40, it could be a 3-stop race if they make it in 40-lap increments today. I've seen 2 caution-free races already this season. At Michigan and Chicagoland. Labonte's starting to run down Tony Stewart again. Might have another good battle for the lead. Labonte got a good run off 4. Now he's in the draft of Stewart. Got to keep drafting him all the way down the front stretch. Maybe look into turn 1. Stewart tries to pinch him off, but Labonte gets in there and takes the lead off of turn 1. Stewart almost got in the wall. And Terry Labonte is in the lead for the first time today. As long as he can keep the lead for the next half a lap, he'll get 5 bonus points. Leading that first lap of the race. If he can have the clean air and knows he's going to have a lot of track position, he'll tighten the race car up. But without the track position, he gets so tight when he's in behind another car. If you tighten it up, it might be even worse. It's really tough to tell exactly where to go adjustment-wise under this first stop because of that. We'll also kind of have to see when Stewart pits. Labonte cannot afford to have his crew make a mistake on pit road at all tonight. Wow, that was a big slide in turn 3. All 4 tires in the yellow right now. Obviously not helping Terry Labonte. Well, once Labonte finally got to the lead, he is pulling away. He's not as loose in turn 1 as what he is in turn 3. No lap traffic yet. Getting around this 2.5 mile track. It took a while for lap traffic to come into play at Pocono. It really never did until that last green flag run, which again went 167 laps. But we had 4 cautions in the first less than 35 laps of the race. Today, these guys are racing really, really hard. You can tell everybody that's at the front right now knows they have a chance to win here at Indy. And boy, do they want to make the most out of it. Right now, it's Terry Labonte out in front. Pit stops looming. And if he can make it 5 more laps, that would be huge. But I just don't know if Labonte's going to be able to do it. A 3.5 second lead back to Smoke. Stored a 2-time Brickyard 400 winner, though at this point, 2003, he didn't win one yet. So I guess technically he'd be looking for his first career Brickyard 400. Track he wanted to grow up racing at. And more than just racing, winning. First lap car is going to be coming up very shortly, unless he pits. Got quite a bit of space before the next lap car after that. That'd be the perfect situation for Terry Labonte. See, that's another thing, too. We get a long green flag run, there's going to be lap traffic as well. Labonte's going to have to navigate around. And I would have to assume it's going to be the same as with the lead lap cars. You get tucked in line so close behind another car, he's going to get tight. He's only got a couple more laps to try and figure out what he's going to do adjustment-wise, or if he's not going to make an adjustment. There's always time to make it later in the race. This won't be the final stop, but it's only going to be the first one. That was not intentional. I couldn't hold a straight line down the straightaway. Ashton Lewis, thank you, Analog Stick. That's another reason why it's not a great corner entry majority of the time, and it looks loose at what it actually is. Man, it's going to be really close if Terry Labonte's going to be able to take it to lap 40. Really close. Not willing to save fuel this early in the race. Long ways to go. And you can't win the race at this point, but you can definitely lose it. Lap 39 now, and we're seeing our first drivers come to pit road today. Some guys are going to be able to make this on 3 stops, without a doubt. So that's why Terry Labonte needs to make sure he's going to be able to do it too. He's got 0.8 gallons of fuel left. He might have to coast it on the last lap, or the next lap rather, to make it 40 laps into a run. But that looks like that's what he's going to have to do. He's got about 0.6 of a gallon left off of turn 4 here. So Labonte stays out one more lap. He'll take it to lap 40. The point in which he needs to run all day today if he's going to want a shot to make it on 3 pit stops. Ooh, big loose moment getting into turn 1. Got some cars coming out of the pits, so Labonte's going to have to be careful. Newman on his inside. That was a little awkward spot there for Labonte. 0.2 of a gallon left. Down the back straightaway. Probably down to 1/10 of a gallon into turn 3. He might run out of fuel in the short chute here. Maybe in the middle of turn 4 he might run out of gas. But that'll be all right here for Terry Labonte. Wow, perfect job there by Labonte. He made it 40 laps, never really had to conserve fuel. There's the speed limit at 40 miles an hour. He's going to make a wedge adjustment. He's going to tighten the car up half around. Might as well start with it. And a 4-tire stop to start today's race with the first pit stop today. Again, under green. No caution up to this point through the first quarter of the event. And Labonte's got to hope for no mistakes with this crew. He had about a 4.5-second advantage over second place Stewart. Clean stop for Labonte and his crew. 1 for 1, 18.5 seconds. Labonte's got to like it, especially compared to where he was in the last race. Labonte trying to get up to speed now. Car feels a little bit more stable. But again, this is the short run. We'll have to see what it'll be like 20 to 30 laps from now as well in heavier lap traffic or maybe even battling for position. Labonte is ahead of Martin and Newman by a few seconds. They were both in the top 5. Newman was actually in 3rd. I don't think Tony Stewart has pit yet, so he's probably just trying to lead more laps. Yeah, all these guys going past 40 laps are definitely going to make it on 3 pit stops if they just keep doing that the rest of the day. So Terry Labonte has to make sure he makes it 40 laps into a run. And so far he's 1 for 1. Some of that might have been him drafting whenever he could down the long straightaways as well. That little bit every single time, because he was obviously pushing that whole run. Trying to expand the lead out, get to the lead as quick as he could before he even got there. Took him just over 30 laps despite qualifying 6 to get to the front. And as everybody cycles through the remaining pit stops, Terry Labonte is back out in front. It'll be an official lead change this time by. I don't think he led that last lap. Chase Montgomery in the 27. And he even kind of crowds Labonte down the backstretch a little bit. He got a little loose. He did clear Montgomery. Oh, Chase Montgomery bounces off the wall off of 4. Got 9 people watching currently right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in here on a Friday night. Almost forgot it was Friday. The Brickyard 400 right here on the channel. NASCAR Thunder 04 full race live stream as usual. We do these every day with a realistic broadcast. My young broadcasting journey, hopefully trying to one day find a job in a real life NASCAR booth calling the real races. So a few laps ago, we just cycled through pit stops. First of the day. No cautions up to this point. A 1.9 second lead right now as Mark Martin is slowly closing that gap. Martin started on the pole, led over the first 20 laps of the race. .203 miles an hour into turn 3. I think Labonte's race car is a little bit better than what it was on that first run. Good call with the adjustment. All it was just putting a half a round of wedge in the car. Martin still a 1/10 of a second quicker that last lap. Jack Sprague will be the next driver to go a lap down. Labonte makes the move. Well, he was going to. Sprague. Little block in the center of the corner. Labonte's going to beat him down the back straightaway, though. Sprague not even going to try to block there. We'll have to accept the fact that he is slower and he will be going a lap down. Wow, that was close. Labonte got a little loose on corner entry into turn 3. Sprague trying to cross him back over. I guess the battle's not done yet. Labonte trying to hold the outside in turn 4. He does, barely. And still clears Sprague. Well, Labonte got loose getting into turn 3. He just kind of shot up the track right in front of Sprague and almost turned himself off his front bumper. There was no contact, but it was very close. Lap 50 this time. Bobby Labonte up to 3rd. Jimmy Johnson in the top 5 right now. Future winner of this race from the year 2003. His young career up to this point, though, he didn't win one. Maybe he can find it here today. He had a lot of success later in his career at this famed racetrack. Hard into turn 3, trying to get around Christian Fittipaldi. Oh, Fittipaldi just cut down right into Terry Labonte in the center of turn 4. What was that all about from Fittipaldi? My goodness. I like how we're not allies anymore, even though he hit us.
43 car is still there. Number 43 is gaining on you.
Bonnie clears him in turn 3. Race leaders are closing in on Terry Labonte. Some of it was the contact the last lap with Fittipaldi, but Mark Martin still running him down. Just under a second off the lead. Bonnie messed up turn 1 quite a bit. Got up in the marbles. Bobby Labonte's still trying to pass Mark Martin for second, meanwhile, as well. At least Terry hasn't had to deal with hardly any lap traffic, really. I think there's only 4 cars a lap down right now. 53 laps in on a green flag run. So that is pretty impressive. Well, I guess there's technically 6. For one, Labonte just passed David Green, so that would have made 5 that are still on the track, but Kevin LePage blew an engine earlier as well. And David Green trying to cross over Terry Labonte in the short chute of 3 and 4. He gets back to Labonte's inside. He's still there. Labonte gets the drive off of turn 4, trying to pull back away from him as Martin closes in again. Less than a half a second off the lead that time was Martin at the start-finish line. Things are a little spaced out now, obviously, with the long green flag run to start. Jeff, if you could have made it for the start of the race, though, it was a heck of a first run. Pretty much the first 30 to 35 laps was just nothing but hard battling, pretty much all the way through the top 10. Now, there wasn't a crash. We came near it a couple times. We had quite a few drivers scraping the wall or getting into the wall a little bit off the exit of the corner. 3 wide that almost caused a big crash a couple laps in as well, but they all made it out. Again, outside of Kevin LePage blowing an engine, there's still 42 cars on the racetrack as well.
Be careful using up those tires.
Bonnie to the inside of Biffle, trying to put him a lap down.
Still there. The 16 car is looking right. You're clear.
This could be very well a fuel mileage race once again today. Terry Labonte was able to make it exactly 40 laps on the first run. He could make this a 2 pit stop race to the finish if he can make it to lap 80 and 120.
Number 4 is still there.
Not going to say all drivers, but majority of the drivers should be able to make it. Oh, Labonte way up the track. Great job keeping it off the wall in turn 3. Kind of been his kryptonite. If any corner of the racetrack has been for Labonte tonight, it's been turn 3. And Mark Martin closes in again. We'll see if his teammate Biffle kind of lets him go. So maybe try to take a run at Labonte himself. Martin's still behind Biffle. He's not quite close enough to pass him yet, I guess. And Labonte's going to have to try to get back around Skinner again. Labonte drafting with Skinner down the back straightaway. Well over 200 miles an hour. 203 again into turn 3. Labonte really slid the tires, gets underneath of Skinner. He actually was able to get the car to point pretty well to get underneath Skinner because he slid the tires so much. Maybe not the textbook way to do it. Oh, Skinner bounces off the wall off of turn 4. You know, we've seen a lot of cars do that when they get tucked in behind another car, especially after somebody tries to make a pass and completes the pass. A big arrow push. It doesn't matter whether it's the higher speed corners in turns 1 and 3 or the little bit lower speed corners where it's higher in the center of the corner, like turn 2 and turn 4. Martin again trying to close that gap. Almost halfway through this fuel run. Scrape off the wall. Off of turn 1. Bonnie wiggled a little bit too much. That's going to slow him up again too. And Martin now is within a couple car lengths of Terry Labonte after 2 mistakes this lap. It's going to be hard to pass the leader though. Has been all day. Part of why Mark Martin was able to hold on to the lead as much as he did. But you can tell Martin has made an adjustment. Because he wasn't quite this quick on the first run, despite the fact that he led a lot of laps. He's just kind of holding other guys up behind him. Faster cars like Newman, Stewart, and Labonte. Both the Labontes, really. Martin really entered turn 2 pretty well that time. But you can feel the longer run speed is probably in Terry Labonte's favor, and he actually still pulls him down the back straightaway.
Save your tires.
We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this race today. 60 laps complete at the line, 100 laps to go in the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Bonnie halfway through the field run at lap 61. He's on pace to being able to make it to lap 80 again. Obviously seeing a ton of fuel mileage races here at this racetrack, both in IndyCar and NASCAR. Similar to Pocono, where it's just tough to save fuel on a track with long straightaways like this one. Both 2.5 miles in length as well. Just a long way around the track doesn't help either. Bonnie maybe trying to break the draft a little bit down the back straightaway on Martin behind him. Mark Martin got a great run through turns 3 and 4.
Number 6 is looking fast.
Martin trying to make a pass for the lead now. He's all over the back of Labonte into turn 1. Martin looks low. Still looks low. Bonnie beat him back to the gas off of turn 1 at least. And as well into turn 2. And Bobby Labonte starting to close in on both of these guys once again. There's a big slide. No lap traffic around the leaders again for the time being. Martin goes really high in turn 4 there. Bobby Labonte going to gain a little bit of ground again.
The right front's wearing down. Keep an eye on it.
Well, thanks for sticking around, Jeff. That's all that really matters. Definitely stick tuned for the end of this one, because if Terry Labonte can find himself in victory lane today, I think there's going to be a milk parade. What does that entail? You'll have to wait and find out. That I kind of already said at the beginning of the stream what that entailed, but we'll go more into detail later. I don't want to jinx anything. Not that I really believe in jinxing, but Terry Labonte's got a good run going for him right now. Bobby Labonte actually got around Mark Martin that last lap for second. And Bobby's starting to close in on his brother for the race lead. Martin looks to the inside down the front stretch. Maybe Martin got off of turn 4 a little bit better, and he might try to make a move. A couple more lap cars coming up in a couple laps, I'd have to assume as well. And Ryan Newman in 4th place is starting to close in on both Martin and Labonte. So everybody's just kind of starting to grow closer and closer to each other within the top 5 as this run carries forward. The second fuel and tire run. Labonte, though, at least with the track position for now, is able to lead a lot of laps. And boy, he got tight into turn 3. It's going to give a chance for Bobby Labonte to gain a little bit of more ground again. Again, followed by Martin and Newman. Top 4 all within a second of the lead. Don't see that too much at Indy, especially 67 laps into a green flag run to start the race like this one. What you like to see. Good, clean, very hard and aggressive racing. That's what we've seen today. To see if Bobby Labonte can get closer, maybe have a shot to take the lead, how aggressive he'll be with that. There's, I believe, at least two, maybe 3 lap cars less than a second ahead of Terry Labonte. Yes, 3 of them, and 2 of them are side by side right now. Terry gets to him. He's going to have to do something. Oh, Terry did not get into turn 2 very well. Slowly pulling back away again. Really trying to keep it that way. Hermie Sadler, Kenny Schrader, the next two lap cars. Sadler trying to get to the inside of Schrader down the back straightaway. Look at the run Labonte's got. Right in line behind him into 3. He's just going to let Sadler go and trying to make the pass on Schrader. And best opportunity for Terry Labonte is probably trying to make the move afterwards, just like that. Oh boy, almost slid up into Hermie Sadler. Ken Schrader's still right there, and Labonte failed to pass either one of them. Schrader trying to cross over Hermie Sadler again. Bonnie needs to get around these guys because Bobby is closing in on Terry. But the 0-2 and the 49 keep passing each other back and forth right in front of Terry Labonte, giving Terry really nowhere to go. Bobby Labonte with a big head of steam off of turn 4. Massive run. Terry's going to take the move 3 wide in the short shoot into turn 2. Oh, they merged and they made it. Terry passes both of them. A little risky, but he had to do it with Bobby Labonte closing in. Roughly about 10 laps to go in this fuel run. He's got to try to widen that lead out as much as possible. Brooke Bodine now the next lap car. Terry Labonte's got to run. Looks to the outside, and Brett Bodine kind of blocked him up into the wall. There was no contact between the 11 and the 5 themselves, but obviously Labonte got crowded right there. Wasn't too thrilled about it. He had a big run. He's got an even bigger run down the front stretch in the draft of Brett Bodine now. Into turn 1. Got to his inside. Oh, Bodine pulls down in front of him. Bodine blows an engine hard into Labonte in the inside in turn 1 as Labonte just doored Brett Bodine in turn 1, a very vicious accident. Bodine blew an engine right in front of the race leaders and made contact with the top 2. And Bobby Labonte got the worst of it. First caution of the day at lap 73. And that is going to change everything. It is right at the edge of the pit window. Caution is out. How quickly things can change. That was a hard crash. Here was the aftermath of it. Oh, Bobby Labonte done for the day. A couple other cars spinning further back in the pack. There was nowhere for Bobby Labonte to go. Kenny Schrader kind of piled in. It looked like everybody else missed the accident somehow. And this is going to be interesting. Terry Labonte going to stay out of the pits. Some drivers did hit pit road there, I think. Some of them might not have. I'm not entirely sure. Green flag back in the air. 4 laps shy of the halfway mark. And here is a double foul restart with the lap cars on the inside of the lead lap cars. Martin tried to take a run to the outside to get around Labonte, but Labonte shot off of turn 1.
Still there. Be patient. Clear.
Hermie Sadler trying to block, maybe trying to hang on to the lead lap. Terry Labonte looks to the outside into turn 3. On old tires, trying to hold the line.
All clear, man.
He actually held it pretty well. Almost gave up the lead on the bottom to Martin. Good crossover, though. Terry Labonte to the inside in turn 4 to get around the lap car of Hermie Sadler.
Watch your fuel.
At least it kind of helped them save fuel. It's going to be a lot easier to make it on 2 stops, but did anybody pit under that caution that maybe can make it on 1 stop to the end of the race from here is going to be the big thing. So again, Brett Bodine blew an engine right in front of the race leader. When he cut down the track, he slammed into the race leader of Terry Labonte. Then he spun up in to the outside wall, and when he came back down the racetrack at turn 1, Bobby Labonte was right behind him, drilled him head on. Bobby Labonte's done for the day after that accident. Kenny Schrader got involved, and everybody else somehow was able to miss it as a lot of the other leaders went by. Tough break for Bobby Labonte. He was battling for the lead at the time, and again, running in second. And that's another DNF here lately for Bobby Labonte. He's had terrible luck with that. But now Terry, knowing it's going to be a crucial green flag pit stop, putting it in the hands of his pit crew again, who have made mistakes in each of the last 3 races. Probably cost them a chance to win at Pocono in the last race with 2 pit road mistakes. They have to be mistake-free. They were mistake-free through the first stop. That caution bunched everything back together again. And we know it takes Terry Labonte 20 to 30 laps to really get going on a longer run. He can't afford to lose his track position and lose the lead. He's led a lot of laps today as well. He wants to try to lead the most so he can get 10 bonus points. Something he has not been able to do in a while is lead the most laps. I guess he did at New Hampshire, but he crashed out of that race. Then I believe you have to go back to Dover before that, which was 8 races ago from this one here tonight. Definitely going to make it to lap 80 this time. And it's going to make him a lot closer to making it to lap 120 later in the race as well. Ooh, Labonte bounced off the wall off of turn 4, a little tight.
This one's half over.
Again, looks like a little less than half the field is already pitted under green. It's being such a big track, they didn't have to worry about going a lap down, so it actually kind of worked out for them. Yeah, for a second when Brett Bodine blew an engine, at first glance, I was thinking he just flat out chopped down right into Terry Labonte, and then I realized there was smoke pouring out of the car because of an engine failure. The car's coming off the pit lane. Terry Labonte going to pit this time by here at lap 82. That'll put him about 2 laps to the good on being able to make it on 1 stop the rest of the way after this next one. Really tight off and 4 behind the lap car of Montgomery. He's coming to pit road. Locks the tires up. It'll be a 4-tire stop. Made sure he didn't speed. Great job. No adjustments this time by for Terry Labonte. Yet another pit stop. Drink this milk for good luck. But the Got Milk car at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If only I had like actual like the same milk they had in the Indy 500. I don't know if they actually sell that or not. I'd have to look into it.
And the driver gets his mark. The crew will go around. Does go to the right side first. Change right side tires. 1 can of racing fuel going in. The crew will now swing over to the left side. This will be a 4-tire stop. 4 tires and 2 cans of 70.
And there's the mistake on the rear tire changer. Trying to get the left rear tire on. That costed Labonte about a second to a second and a half. And is that going to cost him the lead at the end of the cycling of pit stops? We'll have to wait and see. Back up onto the racetrack goes Terry Labonte. Rusty Wallace just to his outside. Ooh, Wallace in the wall off of turn 2. He was in an awkward spot. He got crowded by Labonte when Labonte came off the pit lane and Wallace entered into turn 2 a lot higher than what he probably anticipated. And mistimed the exit of the corner as well, ensuing, and a little hit off the wall. That definitely lost him a little bit of ground. Surprised we're not seeing... Well, I guess Bodine and Labonte were out of the race from that accident, so the only driver that could have debris would be Ken Schrader, because he was the only other driver involved, and I don't think he's out of the race. I think he was still in it. Everybody else missed. Terry didn't get through turn 4 that well at all. Trying to break the draft off Jeff Burton behind him. Kurt Busch is ahead of him, and I think that's one of the drivers that will cycle ahead of Labonte with Labonte's crew making a mistake on pit road. And Terry, just like Pocono yesterday, just trying to put the team on his shoulders and win the race himself. I think he would have been a little better off with that mistake on pit road if we didn't get a caution, but because we had that caution that bunched everything back together, he only had about a second and a half lead. Granted, before the caution came out, it was less than a second, so I don't really know how much that would have mattered. I guess in the grand scheme of things, what it ends up coming down to is Labonte's pit crew messed up another stop. Looks like there's at least 2 drivers that still have to pit, so that would mean Labonte would cycle into 5th place. And honestly, those 2 drivers might have very well pitted under the caution. Depending on who it is, are they going to be fast enough if this goes green to the end to make it on one stop and stay ahead of the rest of this pack who will have fresher tires for the majority of the end of this race? That could be very interesting here. My goodness. That caution just really flipped this race over on its head. I mean, I'm not saying it was going to be an easy win for Terry Labonte, but he looked like he had one of the fastest cars. And now that we're in the second half of this race, you know the AI are going to race even harder, and they've been racing hard since the start of the race. Well, never mind. I guess the top 2 are on pit road. So they did not pit under caution. Nobody ended up pitting under yellow. I'm surprised. Well, not completely surprised because I understand why they stayed out. They probably couldn't make it on 2 stops from that point anyway. It was just before the pit window actually opened. It was really close, though. So it should be a one-stop race for everybody to the finish now. Terry was loose all the way down the front straightaway. Curse this analog stick, man. Not fun. By the way, the camera's not tilted. I just kind of realized like how like slanted I am in the camera, and it's because I'm leaning on my right elbow. Oh boy! Bonnie washed up the track a little too much. I thought Burton was going to take the spot. Not quite. Jeff Burton, I think he overdrove turn 4 a little bit. Oh! Bonnie loose down the straightaway. This analog stick about costed a spot to Labonte. Johnson trying the outside on Jeff Burton into turn 1. That might give Kenseth the bottom. Oh boy! Johnson almost got squeezed in the wall by Burton that time. Oh, Burton goes all the way up the track. I think he kept it off the wall, but he got really tight in line behind Labonte. We've seen that a couple times today, and Johnson will take over the spot for 6th. And Kenseth as well going to get around his teammate Jeff Burton. Kenseth in the top 5 in points. Burton's actually 6th in points as well. A lot of front runners for the championship running towards the front here today at MIS. Sorry, IMS, not MIS is Michigan. Ricky Rudd having another solid run in 3rd. And he might go for 3 straight top 5s today. We go to Watkins Glen tomorrow night, too. He's really good on the road courses. Had a great run at Infineon earlier this year. I mean, he might realistically have a shot for 4 straight top 5s, and he's still in the top 10 in points. Don't count him out of the championship. Getting hot at the right time. Middle portion of the year currently. Kenseth did get around Johnson for 6th, by the way. And he's trying to do himself a favor by passing Terry Labonte to move himself back into the top 5. First time since, I believe, the beginning of the race since Kenseth has been in the top 5. Bonnie's about 4 seconds off the lead. The top 4 are all within a second. They're under a blanket. We've seen that a lot with the leaders today. Even after that long green flag run, the top 4 still found themselves within about a 2-second radius of each other before that caution came out. It took about 35 laps at the start of the race before things really started to space out. I think you're going to see that here after this green flag run as well. Already seeing it. Already been green for a little over 15 laps, almost 20 laps. Everybody pitted in that span. We're past halfway. But knowing this is a 2.5-mile racetrack, we're not quite to lap 100 yet. Still got a while to finish up these final just less than 70 laps. Oh, Kenseth up the hill into turn 3, much like Jeff Burton did earlier when he got tight. Sorry, turn 2, not turn 3. Johnson going to try to make the move. Maybe he can get back to 6th. Well, Johnson's underneath him. They're side by side. This track is definitely made for IndyCar, for sure. Open wheel. That's why it's so tough on the equipment with the stock cars. They're so much heavier. Really putting a ton of stress on the right front tire at these high mid-speed corners. Because this is a very fast track. Seen a lot of hard accidents here in the last few years, too. Might change, though, when things go to the road course next year, but still. loose getting into turn 3. It looks like the race leader's actually slowly starting to pull away. Second through fourth are still under a blanket, but the race leader is slightly pulling away. However that may be at this point. Kenza Johnson still battling for 6th. They've already passed each other a couple times. So that battle continues as well. Wow, Labonte got loose into 3. Johnson still hangs on in front of Kenza. Bonnie's 2.7 off the lead. He was 4 seconds back at one point, so he's definitely closing in on these guys. It might take him a while to get through the traffic, though, so he's got to anticipate that as well. Seeing how hard it is to pass on this racetrack today. We've seen actually quite a bit of passing, but contact accidentally when trying to make the passes. Some guys getting into the wall on corner exit because they're side by side, sometimes 3 wide. They just can't make the corner. These high speeds. So we know Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, and Ricky Rudd are up here. I'm not sure who else is in this. Actually, I think Ryan Newman is also in the battle. I believe Newman's in the top 4 as well. Ryan Newman might go back-to-back. He's ran in the top 5 all day long. He actually led a couple laps early in the race as well. And, of course, won yesterday at Pocono. Led the most laps in that race. Led 50 laps. Found his way into victory lane in a fuel mileage race. Majority of the drivers were able to make it on field to the end now, especially of the lead lap cars. A little hesitant though. Martin and Rudd still battling for 3rd. Rudd with a little block in turn number 2. Bonnie's going to get a big run on these two. They keep battling harder and harder with one another. It's allowed the 2nd place car to pull away. Labonte's got a big run down the back straightaway behind Mark Martin. A little slide into turn 3 actually wasn't that bad. He still gripped up pretty well. And now into turn 4. Labonte to the inside of Martin. Down the front straightaway here at Indy. Looked like he was going to get underneath him and then just couldn't quite do it. Close to contact in turn 1. A little bit in turn 2. Bonnie trying the outside. I didn't think that was going to work. Hasn't really for anybody today. Seen it attempted a couple times. Nothing's gone way bad with it yet, luckily. I did see one hard crash, but it wasn't because of that. Martin now to the inside of Ricky Rudd for position. Labonte to the inside. Oh, 3 wide. Martin didn't know he was there. Martin slides up into the wall. As Rudd and Labonte continue on, we stay green at Indy. Martin didn't realize Labonte was underneath him as they were 3 wide into turn 4, and again, it just didn't work. I don't think Labonte knew. I didn't think Martin knew Labonte was there. Once Martin pulled up alongside Ricky Rudd, it was definitely a desperation move there by Martin. Look how many spots he lost. Johnson and Kenseth got on by as well. Late run into turn number 3, and Ricky Rudd trying to block, and he wasn't clear either. Clear enough to actually get a shot there from Labonte that kind of pushed him way out ahead of Terry. Second place driver's running down the leader currently as well, and things are picking up. Once again, 100 laps complete, 60 to go in the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Kurt Busch is the race leader, with Newman in second, followed by Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, and Jimmy Johnson, the top 5. Kenseth in 6th, Lorking still trying to get back around Johnson again.
Number 21 is outside.
Labonte to the inside of Rudd.
Still there. The 21 car is still there.
Slides it into turn 3 and clears Rudd. Rudd almost got the wall off of turn 3. That arrow push again. But he did keep it off the wall, and now Johnson is running down Rudd for 4th. And Johnson slowly pulling away from Kenseth. Less than 60 to go now. Just a reminder, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, milk is known with the Indy 500. I know this is the Brickyard 400, but we've got the Got Milk car. We've got milk. There will be a milk bath if we can find ourselves in Victory Lane here today. So stay tuned. See what happens. I'm doing it for the content. I'm doing it for the views, guys. For the entertainment of just sticking around for a full NASCAR video game race at Indianapolis. Johnson makes the pass for 4th around Rudd. Jimmy is definitely getting quicker throughout the course of this run. And there is company for the lead. Newman is all over the back bumper of Kurt Busch. Sorry, that is not Kurt Busch. That's Dale Jarrett. What happened to Kurt Busch? Kurt was ahead of Labonte there for a while. Unless he pitted it. I don't even know what happened to Kurt. Might have to pause it here. He might be out of the race. I don't usually do this, but we gotta see what's going on here. Labonte's led 47 laps, by the way. He's led the most so far. Mark Martin led 24. Wow, Martin fell all the way back to 11th after getting into the wall a handful of laps ago. Kurt Busch is in 7th. I don't know how Kurt Busch lost that much time, but he's back to 7th somehow. Steve Park led 3 laps. I think he was one of the last drivers that pitted that last time. Robbie Gordon blew an engine. And then we saw Bodine and Labonte crash. Wow, Tony Stewart blew an engine as well. Tough break, another one of the favorites. And we saw LePage blow an engine. So Stewart led 7 laps earlier. He's out of the race with an engine failure. Another driver in the top 5 in points. Stewart comes into this race. Actually sits 4th in points. Battle for the lead between Jarrett and Newman. Dale Jarrett looking for his 3rd career Brickyard 400. Terry Labonte is closing in. It's now a 3-car battle for the lead. Bumper to bumper to bumper are the top 3. Newman swings wide off of 1. Labonte to the inside into turn 2. And Terry Labonte to 2nd. But now can he get it around the driver with the clean air of Dale Jarrett? Look at Jarrett trying to block. Continues to block. Labonte trying to draft with him. He's doing everything he can. Newman swings to the inside of Labonte. Labonte goes wide. Has to keep it off the wall. Jarrett goes wide as well. And Newman's back to 2nd place all over the back of the 88. And as the top 3 battle, Johnson closes in at 4th, even closer. Newman might be looking for the lead into turn 1. He's going to swing wide again, just like the last lap. And Labonte again looks to the inside into turn 2. And Labonte makes the pass for 2nd. Big run to the back of Jarrett off of turn 2 again. Labonte got a little loose. So hard to pass the driver with the clean air, especially when blocks are being made like this. Now Labonte high to block Newman, making sure Newman's not going to get around him again. Labonte slides the tires just a little bit into the corner. Newman almost got underneath Terry Labonte. Now into turn 4. Labonte with a block on Newman. Simultaneously, Jarrett doing the same. Newman looking all the way to the inside down the front stretch. He's trying to break the draft from Johnson, who closes in behind. Labonte. Oh, we got into the back of Jarrett. Contact made between the top two. Labonte to the lead. And Newman to the inside of Dale Jarrett for second. Terry Labonte back out in front again here at Indy. Newman is side by side to the inside of Jarrett right now for the position, as they battle for second. Newman still hasn't cleared him. And Labonte tries to break the draft out in front of the field. Newman starting to slowly close back in on Terry Labonte again here. Going to alternate through the different camera angles now for the final time in today's race. We'll see if Newman tries to charge for the lead after getting around Jarrett a lap and a half ago. He's slowly closing in. And we'll have to see if that continues. Newman, a future winner of the Brickyard 400. But not at this time period here in 2003. He's looking for his first. Terry Labonte slowly pulling away. We'll have 50 laps to go this time by in the Brickyard 400. Seen some good races at Indianapolis and Pocono on the channel. It doesn't matter what video game we do these full races with, but we find ourselves to having some good battles. It's been another one of those days. Newman's still not far off the lead. He's a lot smaller in the rearview mirror, but still visible. So is Dale Jarrett in third still. Like it's the calm before the storm here. So we're probably only about 10 laps or less away from green flag pit stops, the third and final pit stops of the day. Both the right side tires are getting worn at this point in the run. Labonte could probably only make it about 10 more laps from now on fuel. Seeing his brother Bobby Reckwell battling for the lead in second place earlier because of a lap car. Brett Bodine blowing an engine right in front of the leaders in nowhere. Really both of the Labontes to go, but obviously Terry got through with very, very minimal damage and Bobby could not. Terry's going to try to win this one for him. Another race where it looked like both those guys were going to battle to the end and one of them DNFs. It doesn't matter which one it is. I mean, they just both find a way not to finish 1-2, except for at Pocono, which it kind of came out of nowhere because of that green-white checker finish, and Labonte by a nose finished in second place. Newman's starting to close back in slowly, and by the way, Jimmy Johnson got up to third place a couple laps ago. And again, Jimmy's progressing forward here. He's got any sort of speed that his teammate in the 5 has. Look out for Johnson later and later into this race. The window's going to open with 40 laps left. You might see some guys pit the lap before, but not sure exactly how soon before that they'll pit. Still 45 to go. There is time, and Ryan Newman again is just closing on Terry Labonte for the lead. Matt Kenseth fourth, Jeff Gordon up to fifth. So 3 Hendrick Chevrolets in the top 5 now. Haven't seen Johnson lead yet today. I believe Gordon's got a couple laps led. Labonte's led the most up to this point. Labonte's not won in the Scott Milk paint scheme so far this year. He's 0 for 3 running this paint scheme. Maybe having a glass of milk or a cup of milk, I guess, in this case, is the good luck running this paint scheme, kind of like it is with the Cheez-Its when we had the Cheez-It hat and we actually eat Cheez-Its while we're getting this race in. We've won every time we've done that. All 3 times we've done that, we've won. We might have found new luck with this paint scheme now. We just got to associate the brand throughout the course of the stream. it is still a race within the top 3. And that's something else that really is crazy. So the beginning of the run, they're all tight together for a while. Then they space out, and then by the end of the actual fuel window, they start to tighten back closer and closer to one another again. Just insane how that keeps happening over and over. Labonte almost got the wall off of turn 4. He did a great job keeping it off, and here comes Newman in the draft of Labonte down the straightaway into turn number 1. Newman looks to the inside. Labonte tries to block. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. Nose to tail with the top 3. Labonte's in the wall off of turn number 1. Johnson to the inside of Newman for second. That's why Newman couldn't capitalize after Labonte got in the wall. Johnson's there instead. Labonte tries to break the draft down the back straightaway as side drafting and close quarters racing between Johnson and Newman are going on. As Johnson is up to second, this is as high as he's been in the running order all day. Labonte's crew made a mistake on the last stop. They made 2 of them yesterday, and that costed Labonte a chance to win at Pocono. Making 1 already today. They've only had 2 stops today. They had 4 at Pocono yesterday. 2 up to this point, and this third will be the final one. The way the caution fell, everybody's going to make it on 3 stops today. It's going to be close. Some are going to make it on 3, and some are going to make it on 4. And Newman is going to short pit. Ryan Newman is pitting early from 3rd place. Just barring and hoping a caution doesn't come out. This should actually cycle Newman to the lead. Bonnie's committed to trying to take this run as far as he can just in case. Johnson did stay out in second. Newman was the only one of the top 5 that came to pit road that time. A couple other drivers further back followed him. Michael Waltrip on fresh tires starting to run down Terry Labonte. Waltrip already came off the pit lane. 40 laps to go here at Indianapolis for Terry Labonte. Harvick's been having a solid day in the top 5, but that's because Newman's already pit. Bonnie pushes tight again off of turn 1 that time. Waltrip went way up the track into turn 2. Oh, and he got the wall. That was just the product of him missing the entry to the corner. Cost him on the exit as well as Waltrip got in the wall.
Gotta keep the tires in good shape to be fast, buddy.
Labonte going to stay out 1 more lap. He'll be pitting this time by with 38 laps to go. Newman would have pit 3 laps prior to that. And again, that should cycle Newman off as the leader. Unless Labonte has a clean stop, maybe he can stay in front of him. It'll be close. Waltrip almost got in the wall again, that time off of turn 1. Labonte's going to be pitting this time, so he's just got to make sure he's going to have that inside lane. He's going to block Jeff Burton down the back straightaway, make sure Burton doesn't get underneath him. Labonte coming into the pits. Oh, but Labonte slides up the track and Waltrip's underneath him. And he's got to let Mark Martin. He's got to let Jeff Burton go as well. So Labonte coming to pit road, that cost him a little time as well. Every little bit matters. No adjustments, and this is the money stop. Final pit stop of the day. Nine people have hit the like button so far. Thanks for everybody tuning in here tonight. be tough.
One can of racing fuel going in. The crew will now swing over to the left side. This will be a 4-tire stop. 4 tires and 2 cans of 76 racing fuel. And that was no mistakes.
No mistakes on the final stop for Terry Labonte that time. Where will Newman be cycling out of the pits? There goes Newman and Dale Jr. There's some lap cars right in front of both Jr. and Newman, though. So Labonte's going to try to run him down. A couple lap pressure tires for Labonte, not going to really matter. It's only 2 to 3 lap pressure on the two drivers who are battling for the eventual lead ahead of them. They will be battling for the lead as soon as that last car hits pit road. So Labonte's back in traffic, and this is it. Been hard racing all day. We're about to see even harder racing to the finish. See, there's Kurt Busch ahead again. I don't think he's pit yet, though. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't see how far back he was because my camera's in the way. It's like only blocking that part of the screen, so as far as like me being able to drive, it's not affecting me at all. Or being able to see drivers coming up behind or beside me, I'm still fine. Again, different camera angle, different setup. Because if we win today, there will be a milk bath at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If Labonte can win the Brickyard 400 in the Got Milk car at the track where, at least in the winner's circle for the Indy 500, you usually see a milk celebration. I didn't think it was going to be that hard to say, but it was. I think I've just been talking too fast lately. I've been making more of those like mistakes over the last couple of streams. Really, the last like 3 or 4, I've done that a couple times. I think it was the first time I did that today. Oh wow, look at how deep Chase Montgomery drove it off into turn 3. For a second got back underneath Labonte, but Labonte holds him down in turn 4. "35 laps to go here at Indy." Just overdrove turn 1. He had to lock the brakes there. Jimmy Johnson closing up behind him, so at least Labonte cycled ahead of him, but we know Johnson was fast, especially at the end of that last run. He got up to second place because Newman and Jr. short pitted. We know they're going to be ahead of Labonte at least. I think Steve Park's still on the track, and I believe somebody else still has to pit that's on the track as well. So Labonte should cycle in third place, as long as Johnson doesn't get around him too. Labonte a little loose into turn 4 that time. He hasn't been loose in a while, not real loose at least. Pretty much since he made that adjustment under that first stop, putting a half round of wedge in the car, no adjustments the final 2 stops. Jamie McMurray also stayed on the track. Maybe he was trying to get a lap led so he can get 5 bonus points. McMurray's still in a tight Rookie of the Year battle. Lap car David Green coming up. Labonte trying to draft with him down the back straightaway at least. Labonte got a little tight in line there behind David Green. All the way to the inside. And David Green is blocking Labonte right now, and here comes Johnson. Green is already 2 laps down. There is no reason for him to block. Terry Labonte is a man on a mission. And he's still in front of Labonte. Now Terry finally gets underneath him down the back straightaway. And Johnson is right there. Oh, contact into turn 3. Johnson to the inside now. David Green might have just costed Labonte a position with nearly 30 laps to go. Side by side with the 48 and the 5 off of turn 4. Currently for 4th. Look at the run Johnson got down the front straightaway as he clears Labonte into 1. Spot lost for Terry Labonte, virtue of the lap car David Green. See if Labonte can get back around Johnson. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. He's going to try to draft Johnson. Look at how low Jimmy's going. These two battle too hard, though. Oh. Bonnie, he actually kind of got into the corner pretty well. He stuck like glue to the curbing, but center of the corner, he couldn't hold it. In line behind Johnson, the car got way too tight again. It's been the problem all day long. See if Labonte can create another run. He's gaining a little bit. Jimmy's got a really fast car down these straightaways. Bonnie did gain a little bit of ground into turn 3. Actually ran a little bit lower in turn 4 as well. And again, he's trying to get a run on Johnson. 30 laps to go in the Brickyard 400. Top 3 are all battling it out as there's another battle for 4th right now between Jimmy Johnson and Terry Labonte. And honestly, even with Johnson and Labonte battling, they're still closing in on the top 3. Labonte blocking, or getting blocked by Johnson. Jimmy drove it in hard into turn 3, and so did Terry. His teammates are racing clean with one another, though. So hard to tell who's faster. Some laps it's Jimmy and some laps it's Terry Labonte. This could be a very fun battle to the finish. Especially if these two get up to the top 3. Race leader slowly pulling away from 2nd and 3rd. Labonte's got to run into turn 2 to the inside of Johnson now. Side by side down the back straightaway for 4th. Look at Johnson getting a little bit better straightaway speed and barely holds on in front of Terry Labonte. Labonte hard into 3, trying to get back to the inside of Johnson. Slides the tires. Johnson stayed a little wide. Now he tries to block Labonte into turn 4. There's contact between the 48 and the 5. Both cars get sideways. Both keep it off the wall. Labonte to 4th. Johnson with an aggressive block into turn 4, and he wasn't clear, much like what Mark Martin tried to pull earlier when they were 3 wide. Johnson didn't lose too much ground, but he lost enough and also lost the spot. Well, it was clean racing up until that point. Labonte drove it deep into 4. Johnson didn't know he was there, tried to block anyway, and costed both of those guys huge momentum. Johnson's not done yet. He's trying to get back after Terry Labonte and see if he can close the gap a little bit more again. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Been watching the whole time. Thanks, man. We are setting up for a wild one here in the Brickyard 400. Kenseth starting to close the gap on Johnson and Labonte since they started battling as well. Kenseth periodically has looked really fast today as well. Can he be a threat to win this race late? He's come close with a few runner-up finishes, but he has never won the Brickyard 400. Maybe Kenseth to do it here today. Of course, at this point in time, again, 2003, he was still young to his career. Man, this... You guys keep talking about the DNFs need to stop. The stuttering needs to stop on my behalf. Maybe I'm getting a little too amped up. I don't know. Like I said, the last 3 or 4 nights, man, I've just been stuttering a lot. Not like, you know, throughout the day, just like on these streams for whatever reason. I'm not hitting every syllable and every word like I probably should. Hopefully I don't botch the call at the end of the race. Because like I said, this should be a pretty good finish. It's going to come down to it. Just 25 to go this time by. We don't know if we're going to get another caution. We've only had one today. Hard crash in turn 1. Terry Labonte got a little tight in turn number 3. Didn't have anybody in front of him, though, that time, so it was a little strange. And Matt Kenseth has a run on Johnson all of a sudden as he's going to try to pass him for 5th. Kenseth looks to the inside. Terry Labonte still 4.5 seconds off the lead. Kenseth looking low. He's side by side for 5th with Jimmy Johnson. Johnson almost got in the wall. As Kenseth progresses forward into the top 5 again today. Saw a good battle during the course of the last fuel run between Johnson and Kenseth as well. Blown engine on the inside of the racetrack of Ricky Craven. His day will come to an end. Tries to stay all the way down low. Way off the racetrack. So he'll try to nurse it to pit road. Kenseth gaining ground on Labonte that time. Terry ran a little bit too high. He's trying to break the draft down the front stretch. I ran a little too low. Everybody's going to be good on fuel to the end of the race. Not by much, but by a few laps. Kenseth looking low. Couldn't quite get there yet. Kenseth got tight. Labonte trying to break the draft down the front straightaway again. Another mistake. Kenseth capitalizes. Labonte loose into 1. I don't know how Kenseth didn't clear him. The will to stay in that 4th spot for Terry Labonte continues. Big run by Kenseth. A block by Labonte, but he couldn't hold it. Kenseth to 4th. Johnson almost got underneath Labonte as well, but couldn't quite do it. And Matt Kenseth is up to 4th place. Kenseth going low, trying to break the draft. Labonte just trying to stay in the draft. Lap car just in front of Kenseth. That would be Mike Skinner. Kenseth to the inside of Skinner. Meanwhile, trying to block Terry Labonte as well. Labonte running low, but he ran out of asphalt. Kenseth underneath Skinner. Oh, big slide into turn 3. Wasn't enough room there for the moment to get underneath Mike Skinner. Oh, Labonte drove it in way too deep, and Johnson just squeezes by on the outside. Another spot lost late for Labonte. 21 to go, and he's back to 6th. The 4th through 6th spots keep changing back and forth as well, and it's just not giving anybody an opportunity to really close in on the top 3 like they were for a little bit. Look at Skinner blocking Labonte even. a big slide. Finally, Labonte underneath Skinner. Clears him. 20 laps to go in the Brickyard 400. Kenza did finish runner-up this year. Or I guess last year. In the 500. I think he finished runner-up in 2013 as well, if I'm not mistaken. I know he had at least one other year that he finished runner-up. Might have had more than that. Paulie trying to crowd Labonte. It's insane. These guys 2 and 3 laps down, even blocking Terry Labonte like they're battling for position to the end. Labonte got tight. Gotta keep Paulie behind him. He did, but in line behind Johnson. Just a little too close, perhaps. Labonte was a little bit quicker those last 2 laps than the race leader, at least. Johnson, he actually gave up the bottom a little bit on corner entry, but he was able to cut down in the center of it still. Darren Dill, welcome to the stream. Will there be a milk bath if Labonte can find his way in victory lane tonight? Doing it for the views. Trying to, at least. Oh, Labonte's tight. Johnson's in the wall. Johnson scraped the wall off of 3. He got tight also. I think he was looking too much out of the rear view, and that's why he overdrove the corner. Labonte didn't overdrive it. He was so close to Johnson, again in the center of the corner, and the car pushes. Had a good day so far, Darren. Hopefully you guys have too, watching along at home. Labonte with another run on Johnson. Pulls out of line, trying to make a pass. Jimmy squeezes him. Labonte's almost in the grass. So he gets underneath him into turn 3. Labonte will clear Johnson. And Johnson's in the wall off of turn 3. In the wall heavily for Jimmy Johnson. He's going to have no shot to get back around Labonte, and that might have ended Johnson's shot of winning the race. Lap cars are side by side in front of Labonte. That is Greg Biffle and Hermie Sadler right now. And there is nowhere for Terry Labonte to go. He made another mistake. Biffle's crowding him, not giving him a lot of room. Oh, contact! Labonte got loose on the bottom. Biffle gave him a little bit of room, but, I mean, barely any at all. These lap cars might cost Labonte a chance to even get close enough to make a move on those leaders ahead of him. It is insane, and now Hermie Sadler is blocking Terry Labonte. Into turn 2. Labonte drove it in deep. Once he finally got underneath of Hermie Sadler, Sadler lets him go. We'll have 15 laps left this time by at Indy. Labonte did not get off of turn 3 very well. The tire's getting older at this point in the run as well. Not helping Terry Labonte out either. He's kept his car clean throughout. Will it pay off to the end? Think back to that one pit stop that Labonte's crew messed up. At least they only messed up one this time instead of 2. They messed up the second stop. I don't think Labonte would have a chance, much like Pocono yesterday. And another long green flag run to the end. Not as long. It was 167 at Pocono yesterday. Granted, we don't even have that many laps in this race. We only had one caution, and it was back at lap 73. So this would be over half the race to the finish if it does stay green to the end. Labonte can run consistent times. He can be faster. Some guys might pit if a caution comes out. Some might stay out. Who knows? I'd have to assume a lot of the drivers at the front of the field would stay out. Track position means a lot here at Indy. We've seen that today. Just like Pocono. Kenseth's starting to run down these leaders too more and more. Analog stick making me lose down the straightaway is not helping either. I mean, that scrubs off so much time even if you don't hit the wall. Just not being able to stay in that straight line. Moving around too much. He almost got the wall off of 4. Kenseth's in the middle trying to pass a lap car right now of Kenny Wallace. They clear him before they get into turn 1. Bonnie needs Wallace to give it up here. Into turn 2.
Number 23, down left. Got one out.
Bonnie just kind of moving Wallace out of the way down the straightaway. Or the best time to do it.
Number 23, all over your back bumper.
Oh, Wallace is in the wall off of 3. Well, that's one way for Labonte to get around him. He cleared him anyway before that, but no chance for Wallace to get back underneath him again. 12 laps to go in the Brickyard 400. 3.5 seconds off the lead is Terry Labonte. He is so close behind Matt Kenseth. Now looks to the inside of Kenseth in the short chute and into turn 2. Labonte to 4th. Dale Jr. caught behind a lap car right now, all the way through turns 1 and 2. Labonte and Kenseth both closing in on Dale Jr. for 3rd.
If you need someone to drift with, he'll work with you.
Big run down the straightaway by Labonte. Maybe a little too big of a run. Got tight in line behind Jr. That might be Ricky Rudd right in front of Jr. as well. 11 to go this time by. So 2nd through 5th, they're all under a blanket with 11 to go. And that's actually Kurt Busch. So Busch is back in it. I don't know where he was on the last run, but he's back in it here. And I believe that leaves Ryan Newman as the leader about 2.5 to 3 seconds ahead of this group. These guys are all battling. Definitely can't give it up now. Junior might have a run to get underneath Kurt Busch this time. Oh, and a shot from Labonte from behind. Labonte overdrove the corner into Junior. Junior underneath Kurt Busch for 2nd. We mentioned Dale Jr. never won a Brickyard 400 his entire career. And he's up to 2nd place with 10 laps to go this time by.
Just 10 laps left.
Bonnie lost the time. Now he got hooked on Kurt Busch's left rear. Moved him up out of the way. Labonte to 3rd. In line behind Dale Jr. Now underneath Jr. in turn 2. Trying to make the pass. They almost make contact. Aggressively side drafting. Jr. was trying to pinch Labonte as well. Labonte's been getting tighter and tighter throughout this run, so he's got to be careful trying to make these passes. Contact with Dale Jr. Slides up. A little more contact in turn 3. Deep dive into 4. Labonte to 2nd. Oh, but Labonte overruns the corner. Still stays in front of Junior. Labonte obviously checked up, but Junior had to as well. He didn't want to run into the back of Terry. 9 laps to go. These guys are about 3.5 seconds off the lead from Ryan Newman. Labonte slides the tires into 1. Barely holds on to 2nd again. And Kurt Busch is going for 3rd place. And he's got it. Kenseth right there again as well. Can these guys break away from one another? And most importantly, I think Labonte might be the fastest of all of them. Terry breaking the draft down the back straightaway. 3.5 seconds behind the leader, Newman. Ryan Newman trying to go back-to-back after winning at Pocono yesterday, trying to win today at Indianapolis. Beal S, welcome to the stream. Just in time. And if we win, I will be taking a milk. Well, not a legitimate belt. Like, I'm not going to fill the my milk bath. I mean, I have a cup of milk right here. Here at Indy with the Got Milk paint scheme. So there's a lot on the line for us here today. And obviously the points as well. Labonte just outside the top 10 of the point standings. He's already clinched the most laps led today. I believe, at least. I believe he's led the most laps. So if Newman wins this race and leads the rest of them, I guess it'll be really close. Oh, Labonte in the wall off of 4. And that car's just really tight.
Race leader's got 3 seconds on it.
Schrader thought about blocking Labonte. He's going to let him go. He needs to. Labonte's trying to race for a win at one of the more prestigious races in NASCAR.
Easy on those Eagles, driver.
At one of the most prestigious racetracks in the world. Newman doesn't have a single lap car in front of him. He's got clean air the rest of the way. That's only going to make it harder for Labonte to pass him if he can even get to him by the end of the race. 6 laps to go for Ryan Newman. There's always a threat of a caution. So you don't want to wait around, because a caution could end the race. If they get to 4 laps to go or less, they would have to race back to the caution flag. We've only had 1 yellow so far today. These tires are getting old at this point in the run as well. I do like this paint scheme a lot too, Darren. Labonte too loose in turn 3. He's just overdriving the corners. But, I mean, you can't blame him. Five to go this time by. You know Newman's going to block for his life if Labonte catches him. That clean air is going to be a huge advantage for Ryan Newman. It is going to be so tough for Labonte to get around him. What will he be willing to do to win at Indianapolis? I think he'd be willing to do anything. Newman, up to this point in his career, never won the Brickyard 400. He won the Season 1 champion without winning a single race all season. But he got his first win of Season 2 yesterday at Pocono. Trying to go back-to-back. These longer racetracks, these longer straightaways, flat track as well, really paying into Newman's favor. Labonte wiggled in turn 1. Labonte has really closed that gap on Newman, though. Newman a little wider arc into turn number 2, trying a different line. And Labonte's got a big run down the back straightaway in the draft of Newman. He might try to take a shot into turn 3. To the inside. Newman with a block. Labonte tries to back up the corner. But he got tight in line behind Newman and almost gets into the wall. This is where that air factor really starts to come into play. Oh, Labonte to the outside, but he scrapes the wall down the front stretch. 3 laps to go in Indianapolis. It's checkers or wreckers. As Newman tries to desperately block to hang on to the lead and try to win this race. To the inside. Newman all the way down the back stretch. Nowhere to go for Labonte. Too much grass on the inside of the racetrack. Labonte couldn't go any lower. Newman is hanging on for dear life. Newman with another aggressive block into 4. I've seen a couple drivers chop Labonte's nose off in the center of turn 4 today, trying to make a block. And Labonte's there underneath Newman.
Number 12 is still there. The 12 car is still there.
Side by side for the lead.
Number 12 is still there.
Through 1 and all the way through turn 2.
Still there.
Newman still desperately trying to hang on.
Lost the lead.
Labonte loose down the straightaway. This analog stick costed him. Does he have a chance to get around Ryan Newman? All the way up the track. Oh, he's in the wall. Contact with Ryan Newman to the inside. And Newman still has the lead off of turn 4. The white flag will wave this time by. 1 lap to go at Indianapolis.
The 12 car behind.
Labonte trying to pull off a last lap pass for the win. He's underneath Newman. Both drivers trying to back up the corner. Labonte clears him. Labonte tight. Newman's in the wall. Labonte's in the wall off of turn 1. Both drivers get into the wall as they're giving it all they've got. Unbelievable. Oh, Labonte's still tight. Newman's got one more shot. Labonte loose off of 4 again. One more time. As they race to the checkered flag off of turn 4, Labonte pulls Ryan Newman. And Terry Labonte times it perfect. A last lap pass to win the Brickyard 400. Oh my goodness. Terry Labonte wins at Indy. Last lap pass for the win. Told you guys we were setting up for a wild one. And it literally came down to the final lap. Both drivers trying to do whatever they could to find themselves in victory lane. Newman won yesterday. Could not go back-to-back today. Labonte breaks the losing skid.
We usually have more caution.
I believe it was a max points day as well.
Probably have liked to see more excitement. I'm sure the drivers, on the other hand, were happy about the low number of caution flags.
Jerry Labonte.
Well, I guess I have to stick to my word that if we won this race, and boy did we ever, we were going to have to take a celebratory milk bath. So here we go. For the content. The sweet taste of victory. What a finish! I need to take a shower. We need to get Indy 500 milk next time. There we go. We're going to have to take a look at the unofficial results to today's race. Terry Labonte gets his 7th win of the season. in dramatic fashion. A last lap pass for the win. Ryan Newman finishes second. He led 36 laps today. Terry Labonte ended up leading 64. Matt Kenseth will go on to finish third. He was definitely closing in late as well. That is a classic finish. And I think this is probably going to take the race of the week unless something happens even crazier tomorrow night at Watkins Glen. Because this one's going to be tough to top. Dale Jr. will finish in fourth. He was pretty much in the top 10 all day. Kurt Busch rounds out the top 5. Jimmy Johnson sixth. Kevin Harvick seventh. Mark Martin eighth. Jeff Gordon ninth. And Ricky Rudd rounds out the top 10. Man, Rudd really fell back there at the end of the race. Jarrett fell all the way back to 13th. He led some laps earlier. He looked really fast, was actually leading before that final pit stop. We'll take a look at who all DNF because there were a couple major ones. Kevin LePage, he was the first driver to exit today's race. Tony Stewart blew an engine. We didn't even see Tony Stewart blow that engine, but he started second. He led laps early on in the race, had a fast race car, and that was definitely a tough break for him. Brett Bodine finishes 41st. He blew an engine. We saw that. That's what caused the big wreck. He blew an engine in front of the field, and Bobby Labonte piled into him. That was the only caution of the day at lap 73, so Labonte and Bodine both crashed out right there. Robbie Gordon blew an engine. Casey Mears blew an engine. Jeremy Mayfield blew an engine. Ricky Craven blew an engine. We saw that one late in the race. 8 DNFs today. So Stewart and Labonte were both in the top 5 in points, and they both will exit this race. One due to an engine failure, and Labonte caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time in that big crash in turn 1. I'm going to be honest, I was half tempted to turn Newman for the win. I'm glad it didn't have to come to that. He was blocking like crazy those last 4 laps, and he just wasn't able to hold on all the way to the finish. We're going to take a look at the new and updated point standings, and then we'll get on out of here. Watkins Glen tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you guys tune in for that one. Like, share, but most importantly, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast every single day. Wasn't my best call to the end, but it was definitely an exciting finish, that's for sure. I tried. I tried, but I was having issues with like stuttering all night for some reason, so kind of rolled into the finish there. So definitely not my best call, but we had a very fun night, a fun finish nonetheless. Dale Jr. still the points lead. He grows it by a little bit over Gordon, not much. He came in with a 7-point lead, leads with a 24-point lead. Mark Martin up to 3rd in points. Kenseth up to 4th. Dale Jarrett 5th. Ryan Newman up to 6th. Jeff Burton back to 7th. Bobby Labonte falls all the way back to 8th. Kevin Harvick 9th. Tony Stewart falls all the way to 10th. He loses 6 spots in the points in this one. And Labonte moves up 2 spots in points from 13th to 11th, and Labonte only gains 25 points on the points leader, Dale Jr. So that is the updated standings right there. Ward Burton, 12th. Wow, he's having a good season. Rusty Wallace, Kurt Busch, Ricky Rudd, Michael Waltrip back in 16th. Yeah, the next game is going to be NASCAR 05 when we get there, but we got to finish this season up first. It was a fun day, and it was a fun race, that's for sure. I need to get in the shower now. So that was great. You'll probably see the highlights for this race here in a couple days on the Race of the Week on the channel. Thanks for everybody watching. Again, like, share, but most importantly, subscribe. How could you not like and how could you not subscribe after that finish of the race? It was just a great race throughout. Again, highlights will be coming in a couple days. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Watkins Glen on NASCAR Thunder 2004.